Hey everybody. So, a lot of you really liked my last video, my storytelling video. If you haven't seen it yet, it's about a haunted house that I lived in. It's super spooky. It's great, for any time of the year, but especially because it's around Halloween right now. I have another story to share with you, and I have all my dogs in here with me. And appropriately, this is a story about one of my dogs and how she became a meme on the internet. So get comfortable, sit back, and enjoy this story about my internet famous dog. So how many of you have seen this picture? This is a picture of my dog, my personal dog. So back in 2007, I had just moved out of my parents' house and I moved to Arizona. Now, I had always wanted a pit bull. We had always had like corgis and Australian shepherds up until that point. But in high school, my friend had a pit bull and I absolutely fell in love with them. And I knew that that was the dog that I wanted to get. So when I moved out to Arizona, I went to the Maricopa County Animal Care and Control. And I went there to register Annie with the county, like with her rabies tag and everything like that. And I noticed they had an adoption area, and they just allowed people to go back there and look at the dogs. And so I decided to take a look. I had no intention on getting a new dog. We had just moved, and Annie was enough. We lived in an apartment. So I ended up looking, and almost immediately, I see this adorable, younger pit bull with one blue eye and one brown eye. And I just absolutely fell in love with her. She was so sweet. She was just very relaxed, very chill. And I kind of asked them, like, what's the process for adopting? Long story short, we ended up taking my corgi there, Annie, to see how those two would interact and to see if they got along, since, they were both females and sometimes there can be issues. We ended up adopting her. She got spayed and she came home with us. So shortly after we got her home, kind of had like lip bulb dermatitis, so like right here. So we would have to stretch her face out to put the medication on it. And she was just so chill about it that we ended up taking this picture of her with her face, and those are my hands in the picture, pulling her face back like this, and it looked like she was smiling. And the reason we had to do that was to clean it out, but we thought it was cute, so we took a picture. I ended up posting this picture on LiveJournal in a pit bull group I was part of, and everyone immediately loved it. Everyone thought it was the funniest picture ever. I absolutely loved it. I posted it on Firr Affinity, I posted it on LiveJournal. It almost immediately started making the rounds around the internet, and it really made people smile. It really confused people because they couldn't really tell if this was a real dog or not. It was just, she had so much extra skin that it was just so easy to make her look so goofy. So actually in the Pitbull LiveJournal group, we ended up winning an award for that picture. The story with Qoppa is that she's named after partially the Maricopa County Animal Care and Control. The spelling is from an obsolete Greek letter known as Qoppa. And partially she was named after a Lion King character, Qoppa, K-O-P-A, which, if you know anything about the 6 Lion King books that Disney released, it kind of tells like Scar's backstory, but it also talks about Simba and Nala's cub being called Qoppa. So we thought kind of the combination of those 3 things would be a really cool and unique name. A lot of people mispronounce it. They call her Qoppa. There's no U. It's just Qoppa. One of the other problems that she had was we noticed that her teeth had like, one of her teeth had like a crack in it, like the enamel had fallen off. And so we ended up taking her to a doggy dentist in Arizona who's absolutely wonderful. He's seen so many of my dogs. He said, yeah, we can fix it. And what they ended up doing was putting a gold crown on it. So of course she got this amazing gold crown, and I had to take a million pictures of it. People loved that too. She was seriously, she looked awesome with it. But one of the things that the vet told us is that she had a condition known as enamel hypoplasia, which basically means that the enamel on her teeth was very compromised. It wasn't very strong. And that's what he said caused her tooth to chip like that. he gave us a warning that he really only sees this in dogs that have had distemper as puppies, and like when their teeth were growing in. So she was about 1 year old when we adopted her, so it's assumed that she had distemper before we got her. While she survived the initial infection, she was going to have some lifelong problems associated with that. So she just, despite all these, despite the issues with her teeth and despite the possibility of originally having distemper, she was fantastic. She was wonderful. She helped me raise so many of my foster dogs. She just was like the perfect mama dog. One of the best things that she did for me was she helped me raise a dog that would later become my service dog, Ronnie. If it wasn't for Qoppa, I don't think that Ronnie would have become the awesome dog that he is. We got him when he was 18 hours old, and she basically helped raise him. And he really kind of took on her personality and her even-temperedness, and he just became the world's best dog. And I 100% blame that on Qoppa, because she was just such a wonderful surrogate mom to Ronnie. She did that with a lot of my foster dogs. I used to foster a lot of dogs from the shelter, and a lot of them came to me with fear issues or dog aggression issues, and I would introduce them to my pack of dogs, and Qoppa was always the first one I would introduce because she was so even-tempered, she was awesome, and she really got a lot of these dogs to come out of their shells. And, within a couple of weeks, even the dog-aggressive dogs were out in the backyard playing with Qoppa. She was just a really good ambassador. She was awesome. I loved her. She changed the minds of so many people that I knew who previously didn't trust pit bulls or didn't like pit bulls or whatever. And that's exactly what I wanted. I wanted to show the world that pit bulls could be awesome dogs. And she did just that. And I can't even tell you how many people whose minds she changed about the breed and about what they could be. Her impact on my pack has lasted till this day. If it wasn't for her, I don't think I would have as great and stable of a pack of 5 dogs that I do now. She was my first pit bull, but she definitely wasn't my last. I have 3 pit mixes right now, and hang on, I'll introduce them to you. So this is Dazzle. She's about 4 years old. She's the pit mix as well. She's about 70% pit, and someone found her in a diesel truck yard when she was about 4 weeks old, and I ended up taking her to foster her and ended up keeping her. She was basically raised by Ronnie, who I'll introduce to you in a second, and he basically raised her. And if it wasn't for Qoppa, I don't think Ronnie would have had the social skills to be able to raise this one. I promise this isn't the same dog. This is Hazel. She is like a little mini Dazzle. She kind of really reminds me of Qoppa with like her personality, about how laid back she is and chill. She is actually half pit and half Chihuahua, so she's just like this little mini pit thing, and she's just so cute. But yeah, she looks a lot like Dazzle, but she is a completely different dog. She's only about 25 pounds, whereas Dazzle's about 45 pounds. So this is Ronnie. He's my beast. He's my retired service dog. I've had him since he was 18 hours old, and Qoppa helped me raise him. He's about 50% pit, and he's got a bunch of other stuff like Boxer, German Shepherd, Chow, Doberman, all these different things. And he is absolutely the world's best dog. And if it wasn't for Qoppa, there's no way that he would have been as awesome of a dog as he is. So as I mentioned before, the picture of her started making its rounds. So I started to realize that this picture was going viral when I was just browsing Facebook one day and an ad popped up. It was an ad for Photo Bucket, and it said, "Why don't you like us on Facebook?" or something along those lines. And they used that picture of Qoppa in the ad. And I mean, like, can you imagine like having a picture that you posted on the internet of your dog and your hands? Can you imagine seeing that just pop up to advertise to you? So I had never actually posted this picture to Photo Bucket, so they really didn't have the right to use it. My guess is that somebody else uploaded it and they just used it from there. I ended up emailing them and saying, "Hey, this is a picture that I took. I didn't upload it to PhotoBucket, so if you could give me credit on the ad or take it down, either one is fine. So they chose to take it down, which, no big deal. I was kind of hoping that they would just give me credit, but they ended up just removing the ad completely. And after then, it popped up a couple of times, and people would be like, hey, your dog is posted here again. And I don't know, it was just kind of funny. It was kind of interesting. After a while, other memes took its place, and I didn't really see it pop up as much. In 2012, unfortunately, Qoppa did pass away. As I mentioned before, she had previously had distemper as a puppy. Her enamel hypoplasia got worse, so she had a lot of teeth that were just breaking off with just eating food. She just really wasn't doing well. She started having neurological symptoms like seizures and paralysis, and she wasn't the same dog anymore. She just kind of wanted to be by herself in her crate. She wouldn't come out. She didn't want to play with the other dogs. She wasn't the same, and she was having a lot of difficulty walking. It was very weird. So we went and we had all this testing done, and we couldn't find anything wrong with her. We checked for things like valley fever, Lyme disease, anything else that would have been causing those symptoms. And so we talked it over with a couple of vets, and they agreed that this really seemed like late distemper neurological signs. And they started getting worse, and we just kind of made the decision that she didn't deserve to go through that. So we did end up having her put to sleep. It was very heartbreaking. She was way too young. If only her previous owners had vaccinated her for distemper when she was a puppy, she might still be around today. I mean, she'd be 12 or 13 at this point, but it would have been nice to have her a lot longer than we did have her. So a few years pass, and we noticed the meme picture, the picture of her, is making a resurgence. It starts popping up in YouTube videos. It starts popping up in people's profile pictures. It's popping up in Facebook posts, everywhere. I just keep seeing it over and over, and people are linking it to me because they know it's my dog. And so I always try to leave a comment like, hey, this is my dog, and it's cool that you're using the picture. And it's just very cool. It's very surreal. At first, it was very difficult seeing her picture pop up because, she had passed away, and it was just this constant reminder of she wasn't with us anymore. But now I've gotten to the point where I just think it's cool. I think it's cool that she continues, even after she's gone, to make people smile. She still lives on in our hearts through my pack, through the internet. It even showed up on the React channel at one point, which is insane. We just thought that was the coolest thing. And every so often, we see it pop up all the time. Someone actually edited the picture to put little eyeballs on her. And I don't really like that version of it, only because I know that she had one blue eye and one brown eye, and that was one of the most beautiful features about her. It was what made her so unique and cool. And so to see the two little brown ones is it's funny, I get it, I know it's supposed to be funny, but I really would love if people would use the original picture. So if you ever see that picture posted, definitely link me to it. I want to see it. I love that she lives on through a meme. And a couple of questions that people have asked me about that picture. No, she wasn't being forced to do anything that she didn't want to do. She was very tolerant of everything. We were basically we had stretched her face like that, so you can actually see in the picture that you can see where her skin fold dermatitis is. And we were just doing that, and then we would clean it up and we would put medication on it. We only took the picture because she was being so well behaved and chill and relaxed, and so we were like, hey, this is kind of a funny picture. That's the only reason we took it. We weren't forcing her. She needed a treatment done, and she just looked so cute when we were doing it. A couple of people asked me, what breed is she? Can't really tell in the picture what she is, but she was indeed, a bull breed mix. She was just a rescue mutt. She was pit bull, bulldog, and a couple other things. She was absolutely wonderful. Absolutely loved that dog. She was so sweet. I have so many stories about her, but I think I'll just leave it here. Has a picture you've taken gone viral? Have any of your pets ever gone viral? Let me know in the comments below. Also, let me know if you've seen this picture before and you had no idea that it was my dog. Even though Qoppa lives forever on the internet, she could have lived a lot longer in real life as well. So just a reminder, please vaccinate your dogs for rabies and distemper, the distemper combo. They do 3-year vaccines now, so you don't even have to get it done every year. Trust me, distemper is not something you ever want to experience with one of your dogs, even if they survive the initial infection. So, in Qoppa's memory, please go get that done. There are vaccine clinics that do them for free or cheap. Just please get it done so you can have your pet a lot longer. And if you could, please like the video and subscribe. I am almost at 1,000 subscribers. That's just insane. This time last year, I think I was like at about 300 or something. So please, if you're watching this video, subscribe. I promise I'm going to be posting more videos like this. I hope you're having a great day. And if not, I hope this made it a little bit better. I'm Coloring Book Dog, and my dog is a meme. Congratulations for making it to the end of the video. If you haven't seen my haunted house video yet, click here. I promise it's super spooky. I talk about when I actually lived in a haunted house with ghosts. It's so crazy. And here's a video that YouTube recommends for you. Definitely check out my whole channel and be sure to subscribe.